what's up? Turning this off to the side. Let me set this up real quick. Okay, so a couple things. Muffin is with us for dog aggression. Muffin is with us for being a little bratty with taking direction and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you how awesome this tool is when you introduce it in a way. Sorry. When you give them a chance to understand that their choice matters and they're involved. So a couple things that we've done. I think this looks good. There we go. A couple things that we have done is, what's up Max? Is we've put a lot of foundation into everything prior to the remote, right? So the remote is a sensation that is foreign. In fact, Andrew worked Muffin on place, sending to place. So we do that separately. We send to place, or we work on recall, or you can actually use to stop on place. But right now, this is gonna be working the dog for food for recall. And we're doing what the dog is already doing. So we've taught eye contact when the dog is in close. We've done a ton of, this is the only way you eat, eye contact yes, eye contact good, a bunch of that. So the dog has that to a degree automatic. So we've already built the end of recall, right, into a sit. We've also had the dog lowering for us by yeses and following, doing a bunch of that. So we have the mechanics of a dog that knows how to follow my hand, which is really good, right? And then we have leash pressure, which the dog is already solid on. So if I'm walking him around, button comes on, I bring him back. The second I'm saying good boy, that's when the button's coming off. So for those of you that are probably, I'll answer questions toward the end, that are asking if I'm tapping when the button's going on. We did do a session a couple periscopes ago where I was very elaborate with the CB radio. I'm not gonna do that today, but just know that the button is going on before the commands at this part of the stage with this dog. We literally have button, do what you've normally been doing, and once I see the turn, if I'm the dog and I'm walking this way, button, Blake here, good boy, as he's coming, or as I'm coming to drill in, what's up buddy, to drill in excitement, and as we're drilling in excitement, I might throw the button on again for the sit, for this, good, and then the yes, right? So keep in mind, this is a dog that's here for dog aggression, for human aggressions, you know, snapping the owner and stuff, resource guarding, stuff like that. So having him work for food, taking it from my hand and getting notes, getting goods, getting overall direction is the best thing that this guy could get, right? So that's what we have going on. I'm gonna show you this right now. Sorry about this. Let's go. So if I'm walking toward you guys, see, he probably thinks he's doing a place, right? So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. We already have a different demeanor, like a different dog than we did when the dog first arrived. Alright, so if I'm walking over this way, the dog already knows I have food, so I'm gonna let him get distracted, maybe over here. Right? I might do something as simple as, good boy! Yes. And this is the thing, because this is his first session, I'm not looking for a dog that's necessarily being flat out called off of things yet. I'm looking for a dog that just happens to perform the behavior so that this sensation can happen to shut off. Once the dog gets to understanding that, then I can change everything, right? Then I can start pulling the dog off of things. But for right now, I really don't care about all of that. Might bring him over to Soko. Who knows? He's a little hooked on me now. Here, good boy. Just because my hand goes in here, I don't want yes into this. I wait for eye contact. Good. Nope. Yes. So he might go for that kibble over there. I might here. Good boy. See, that was actually a choice. So yes, I took a little gamble, because I technically called him off, and eventually I want to get to that, and it was a good gamble. Doesn't mean that I'm going to keep doing that every single time. He had one where he was going for a piece of kibble, felt and said, oh, I know what to do. that gets me food, and actually came out. So you can see this is a dog that's having fun. I gained a little bit of that. Now, I don't advise this if you're not used to doing this, but I already see his demeanor. I know he's gonna be coming, so I'm gonna drop the leash. In the event that I've made a mistake and the button was on and he didn't do what I wanted, the button would stay on, I would grab the leash and show him what to do to shut it off. Right? So I'm not just gonna tap, he doesn't do it, tap, he doesn't do it, and then like mess up. He's gotta know that the sensation shuts off specifically because of something that he did or didn't do. Right? So in this situation, I know he's gonna come, button on, here, good boy! Yes. And I'm actually gonna go down one level because it looks like he's getting more dialed in. We'll walk around. He's doing this over here, trying this out. Here, good boy! Down. And then what I can, nope, down, good. What I can do if I want to, because this is up to you. Like, he's at a point where I can switch over to place because I think he knows place really well, and if I do the remote, it'll be fine. But if you're doing this for the first time, down. I strongly advise sticking to, nope. So right here, this is the follow-up move. It's all right, I'm gonna break him here. Down. Doesn't have to be me, nope. Down. Doesn't have to be me or anything, but he's confused because I've never been doing these body movements talking to someone else without involving him. That's good practice, right? I strongly advise only doing place in a session or only doing recall in a session until you have both really solid. I'm pretty confident right now that he's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna end this on doing place work, right? The reason I say that is it can be super confusing when you're holding a place or you're holding a remote collar sensation, and in one particular situation, holding pressure means come to me. In another particular situation, holding pressure means go away from me and go over there. That can be confusing early on if you haven't taught them individually and they're clear prior. I think that it's pretty clear prior, so I'm just gonna do it, okay? Place. Yes. I'll let him finish that if he wants. Place. Yes. Hope you guys can see this. Let me move this over. Place. Good. Down. Yes. Good job, buddy. Place. Good. I'm still using a little bit of body. Ultimately, I want to get to the point where even I don't have to use body unless I'm using it for spatial pressure. So if I go ahead and go ahead and do something like this, you can know that food can drop. Eye contact, yes. And now you can search for it, right? So that's basically what we're doing. I'll do a couple more yeses and then I'll finish them with a good where you hold it. As I start getting more complex, he's not ready for this yet. This would be a good opportunity to call him off, to practice calling him off of food. But because he's just learning recall, I'm not going to put him in that situation yet. He's not ready for that, right? So go. Maxwell. Place. Good. So that would be good. That's to know where the dog is, not necessarily where I want him to be. Of course I want him to be there. I don't want to mess him up yet. I want to keep this positive, right? So, place. Yes. Good job. So this is a dog that clearly understands to get this, I go over there. We'll try to do it without body language, right? Place. Maybe a little bit, right? And the reason being, there are a lot of placemats over here, so that's fine. Yes. I'll try it again. Place. So he's not ready for that. I'll keep using my body, but the fact that he knows what I'm hinting at, that's fine. Good. And that's pretty much it. For this guy to be where he was to where he is now, huge difference. Around dogs, around, even though I know it's not true, what the owner claims, which is like, you know, he doesn't do good with pit bulls. You know, he's around 2 right now. it never was a breed issue to begin with, but it's a common thing. You hear that a lot. And that is pretty much it. If you guys have some questions. That's a good question. A lot of long line work, and I mean, hunters are really the ones to ask, because I really think e-collars were around for quite some time with these hunters, but they weren't as gentle as they are now. A lot of them were pretty like, don't do that, like, ever. And like, it was like 3 levels. If you were lucky, it was like 5 to 10 levels. Oh yeah, did he just do one? That's great. How do you teach a dog no? Well, a great way to teach a dog no is stay is implied. I'm gonna get to that in just a second, Atosa. Teach a dog no is just mean what you say, right? So there has to be follow through. You must teach a dog nope. So when you're teaching that, when you're working dogs with food and they realize that they did something, all of a sudden they didn't get the food where they were rapidly getting it before, it's like, that's interesting. Why did that happen? Is this guy doing it randomly, or is it because of something that I did or didn't do? And as soon as the dog figures that out, it's like, light bulb, okay, I got it, I'm responsible, okay, how about if I do this? Now, to be fair, place is an awesome way to teach nope, right? Once you have the dog knowing how to send, you can work on teaching the dog on staying there, right? So if the dog is staying, and it depends, if you have a really hyper dog, you might work on staying first, or you might work on sending. If you have a really like shut down, it really depends on what you want to teach first. But if your dog is solid on leash pressure, you can then use that language to direct them through the new thing that you're teaching them, which is the command of place, right? So a dog makes a mistake, they're getting off, I have the leash, nope, and I guide them back on. It's a little bit of a leash, guide them back on with spatial pressure. They're understanding my spatial pressure, they're understanding leash pressure, and nope is coming before. They go, oh, eventually I don't need the leash pressure and your spatial pressure. I know what nope means. It means this, right? Oh wow, he didn't give me leash and spatial pressure that time. Makes sense. You know what I think it is? I think it was always taught, but it was a little, things were a little bit more wild, where you had dogs outside, you had a lot more freedom, so there wasn't as much precision as you can get with a remote collar, right? So you can certainly do it. I think what has drawn more people to it is how you can really drive your percentages up for what's the word I'm looking for? Like guarantee. You know, I know that I can get my dog to call off. I know that I can get this. I know that I can put them in more situations, instead of saying like, they're good in this area, once I get them over there, it's a little too much, you know what I mean? So, and plus dogs were outside a lot more. So when dogs are outside a lot more, like if you've ever been to the Caribbean and you see stray dogs, you see them around roosters, around chickens, around squirrels, chipmunks, other dogs, and they are not in any way distracted. It's like, oh cool, there's a chicken, big deal, right? Because they're exposed to it 24/7. The ones that aren't, like our dogs, go out and it's like a different world, so it's tough because they live inside, they sleep in bed with us, they do all those things, right? Damn, I missed that last question, but to answer Atosa, getting him to stay stays implied. So everything that we do is we don't tell dogs to stay. You know, if anything, we'll give them a good and we show them, hey, this is what you need to be doing, and it pays. Their choices always pay off, right? Doesn't mean that I'm gonna be throwing them a birthday party, doesn't mean that I'm gonna be buying them steak or anything, but there's something that they get out of it, so they learn how to relax. More importantly, oh yeah, for sure. Oh, you're in Montana now, so this is actually Muffin's owner, guys. Yeah, the thing is, he's happy now because he's figured it out. He's starting to figure it out, and okay, this is actually fun. So taking direction is not like stopping me from doing things, but it's getting me to actually realize, right? Yeah, so the strays, exactly. So you see them all the time. They literally don't care. They're not like distracted by the everyday distractions that our dogs have, because our dogs are underexposed to those things, right? And then their dogs are underexposed to things as well. So there's pros and cons to living in the city. There's pros and cons to living out you know, in the woods or in the suburbs and stuff. So it really depends on what you're looking to train for. What other questions do we have, guys? Oh, yeah. Okay, so a couple things. When we're doing collar work, the remote collar shouldn't be slipping, so that should be pretty easy. But if you're talking about the prong collar, if you're doing it, what you can do is you can have the prong collar on top, and if the prong collar is on top, you will have that remote collar kind of keeping it in that area, right? If you're talking about like prong collars that are properly fit, or even like slip leads or something like that, your timing has to be better. If you don't have, you'll find your pressure is going back too much. Yeah, okay, so if you're working like with a slip lead or something, you're catching things too late, you're being too lenient, so as a result, your pressure, I'm gonna show you right now. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna bust out this pink slip lead real quick. Try to set this up. Oh, I took the setup down. That sucks. I'll do it from the mirror. We were working Muffin on a 7 to 10. Yeah, we were on 8. 7 to 10 is where he is, so that's super light. I think you felt it. You didn't start feeling it to like a 22 or something like that. I don't remember. We got Penny getting her calm workout. We're not trying to run her like crazy. This girl's waiting for her food. She was an anxiety girl, so she's just learning how to hang out. And to be fair, they get their play and everything as well. It's just there's time and place. Dog's time and place, that's in trouble. Well, hopefully we'll meet up in Delray. Send that email inquiry. That's important. Okay, so a couple things. If my dog is walking, come on, buddy. He's slacking now. But a lot of times you'll have a dog that's up here, and when he's up here, hold on. When he's up here, you're catching leash pressure here, so it's always going back and you have your dog going forward. When this is always going back, what happens is this starts to slip. If you're walking in a position when you're walking here, look where my position is on my leash. So even, let's go, bud. Even if I stop him, the touch, it's always back here. So the leash pressure is always almost coming up, even if I want to like turn him around. So it's pretty. Not the best example. I'm a little bit, I don't have the ability to do what I need to right now, so I apologize. But we do have a couple videos out that will highlight that a little bit more. What else, guys? I have to get back to training the rest of the gang, get some of the guys out that are downstairs and stuff. So I'll take like 1 or 2 more questions. Yeah, no problem, guys. No problem. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Until next time. Good job.